Hello, my name is Abe. Welcome back to Dead Cells. Apologies for, please press A. Apologies for a non-working controller. Also, I'm a freaking snowman. I feel so stuffed up today. I do apologize for that. It's just, burn synergy with our current amulet. I love that. I just feel like, you know what? This is a great opportunity to go into brutality immediately. I was hanging out with my friend when they were cleaning out their car. They had like a hand vacuum and everything. And unfortunately, that seems to have affected my allergies. I don't know why I'm coughing all of a sudden, must be the coffee. But I am not really doing that well right now. I am just, hey, get out of here. I'm sneezing. I had to blow my nose for like 4 minutes. Oh! Dude, I love this setup right now. We've got so much burn built into the run. I almost died. I should have died, but I didn't. Yeah, I like the run right now. It's freaking hard, but really that was just because of the double elites that we just fought 2 seconds ago. But I like the burn synergy rolling his brutality run. Sorry, my commentary is not exactly up to par right now. Look, this is my warm-up run for like the week. It's the first video game I played in 4 days, and I'm trying to fight back the sniffles as is and the coughs. Poor me, poor Abe. But no, I apologize if I sound a little bit stuffy today, or if I pause and sneeze. It's just, it is what it is. But I hope everyone's having a great day. It is Thursday, the start of my stream week, and dude, I've been having so much fun lately playing Resident Evil. I've been playing through the Resident Evil games. We're currently on Resident Evil. Get out of here. What? Currently on Resident Evil 1 HD, and that's been the game that I've been wanting to play more than anything else recently. It's just like, man, I could really go for some more Resident Evil right now. And at some point, we're gonna have to jump into the other games, but you know, one at a time, right? That was a good sword. Plus damage on burn, plus damage on poison as well. We don't have any poison built into the run, but like, I'm loving the oiled sword combo with the amulet that just means that every single enemy encounter involves fire. It is such a beautiful way of enabling that fire synergy. Apologies. Otherwise, I'm having a good time. Connie's talking about, or mentioned the Dead Cells Alpha update. Got a change. I still have not really checked out the... I like my little like wavy stick arms when I'm in the middle of the jump. It looks very funny. I haven't really checked out the Dead Cells Alpha update after I just checked it out one time to be like, hey, I wonder how the cursed enemies are. Oh, there's curses everywhere, I don't like this. But he says that it's been changed such that instead of the cursed enemies appearing everywhere or anywhere, whoops, they only appear in specific places, like specific biomes. I will probably wait though. I'm probably gonna wait until the update actually gets released before I play it. Because it feels like an update that's gonna get a lot of changes until it hits its final form. And I wanna play it when it actually reaches its final form. How do you do this? There we go. Where are we gonna go? I don't know, maybe the sewers. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've done a brutality sewers run. my god, I'm actually struggling with the buttons too a little bit. I'm like, how do you open the map? Funnily enough, right bumper does do it. Oh no, it only does it because I'm next to the teleporter. I was gonna say, because that is, the map in the Resident Evil games is right bumper. Let's go to the sewers, which is right beneath me. Connie says, if I understand it correctly, on 5BC, there's no limit to how many cursed biomes you can go to. You get better quality loot and more cursed chests, and the cursed enemies can spawn there. It's interesting, because any opportunity to get more scrolls in Dead Cells is a good thing, but I do hate finding those cursed enemies the one time that I played the Dead Cells Alpha, because curse is annoying, and I don't even like the equipment that much. I don't even roll, you know, curse sword in the game, so it'll be interesting to see how it gets balanced and what the final iteration will be. I do really like this combo. Infinite crits from the oiled sword, an infantry bow to kill any of the annoying flying enemies that we run across. Come here. You're gonna freaking be on fire when you arrive, my dude. Oh, hold on. It's a solid build to start with, except for the fact that I immediately got hit by one biter. You know what? I probably should heal. So I'm gonna heal. I'm gonna accept a little bit of bad play. I'm gonna chalk it up to you know, a case of the Mondays, as it was. Let's not let that be the end of this run. There we go. Took a little while. Arcatraz, welcome. How's it going? Good ol' Enter the Dead Cells. I watched a little bit of, whoa, Gungeon stream last night. Kind of made me a little bit nostalgic for it, but I'm still waiting to jump back into Dead Cells until more time has passed, and also until some, whoa, some fancy new Abe lore drops at some point in the future. Very odd location to have a... I do like the double damage on burning oil. But this one just does more raw damage. Very odd place for a legendary. I think that's another legendary pick. I hate getting the legendaries early, which is what happened here, but we'll check it out. No, it's legendary pans! Double damage on burning oil and burns the enemy. Are you? Okay, yeah, this is what we want. Pans. We can get rid of the oiled sword. Infantry bow spreads oil. The pans burn. I sense a combo in my future. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's the good stuff, baby. Hello. Arcatraz says, I watched a video covering the best 10 Dead Cells legendaries. Abe would not have agreed with the results. Probably not. I have my own, you know, tier list. Whoops. It's annoying though how many of the legendaries are just bad, or rather, not good enough. Get out of here. Okay, I'm trying not to get myself killed. That would have been better before I took all the bloody damage. Pans have a very weird combo attached to them, but it's still a very good weapon. Animation lock is real though. Random skills. I would love something else. And you know what? I'll take a freaking cluster bomb. Get rid of the damn emergency door. Dun, 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 dun. Ding dong incoming, says Warp Maulers. Mud says, I feel called out. How'd you know I got here? Hey, we're all friends around here. Number 1 was the comb. How is the comb? I mean, if we're talking about how good the effect is, I guess the comb legendary makes the weapon significantly better, but that still doesn't make the weapon good. Because the comb legendary makes it so that you don't have to have the enemy in the air, you can be floating in the air to get the crits, but there's better weapons. Better legendaries, too. Oh, much better setup now that we have some brutality scaling stuff in our pockets. If you're both in the air, you get additional damage. That I didn't know, but also, like, it's too situational. You could say the same about most of the, you know, damage bonuses in the game. They're very situational. You know, is the enemy burning? Is the enemy bleeding? Is the enemy also coated in oil? But I feel like positional requirements on getting the bonuses is not necessarily something you want to rely on, because it's sometimes very difficult to get those positional conditionals. Number 2 was the katana. Number 1 should really be tentacle, and it doesn't even matter that it's legendary, it's just because it's the tentacle and you get, you know, absurd iframes. Man, the toxic aura on this is terrible. Why don't we take the syringe instead? Because I don't want to use that weapon anymore. It is terrible. It likes consistency. Well, it's not even about the consistency, it's about the fact that when you need the crits, it's hard to enable a positional effect like the comb. What if the enemy that you're fighting is really big and heavy, or a boss? You know, how are you supposed to get the crits on that? If you're fighting, you know, the Watcher with a comb, that's pretty good. You can hit the Watcher body and get guaranteed crits, but you're not gonna be able to get those crits on the tentacles. At least I don't think you're gonna be able to get the crits on the tentacles. Dun, 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 dun. That would be hard to do. Maybe not impossible, though. Gotta make sure that we hit them with the bow here, because that is how you get the oil to get the double damage. Hey, finally we get some HP. Went from 500 to 870. Oops. I used the collector syringe and then just cancel it out like a big dummy. I don't know what I thought I had in my, you know, R slot. I guess the answer is it doesn't matter. Now, we don't really need to burn the enemies anymore. It might be better to take something that applies another DOT or reduces damage taken. So we're gonna swap amulets, since we have another way of creating the fire. It's called hitting them with the pans. Good job, good job. Fantastic, wonderful play. You know what? This might not be a very good Dead Cells day, but I'm still having fun with the run right now. Anytime I get an early legendary, I'm excited. Maybe focus a little bit more. Man, this coffee cannot hit the bloodstream fast enough. Let's see. Hold on, Arcatraz says, Money Shooter and Fire Blast were on the list I figured Abe would approve of. Tombstone got an honorable mention and is my top pick just for the hilarity of clearing several rooms at once, says Ark. Not the Fire Blast, the Fire Brands. Fire Brands for double stacks of fire? Really? That got one of the top billings on a top 10 legendary item list. Sad. I can come up with better legendaries than that off the top of my head. Double DOT stacks is really nice, but you know, the fire damage that you get is not the primary reason to have the Fire Brands. Against normal enemies, you don't really care about the double stacks, and it's really about enabling other synergy types, I think. Where is the prison? The prison is all the way on the left. The one that collects fire off the ground and puts it into the attack. Oh, that is pyrotechnic, I think. I understand the one you were talking about, the fireball one. That's also like not that good, but I'll admit that I actually don't know how much bonus damage you get from that. I could take this and re-roll it, I suppose. Bakuto's bow would be kind of nice. We could take Wish and then we would get a legendary this early, but I would rather take a combo, I think. This is good except for the fact that it is double damage. I guess we don't need anything right now. Kandi says, I'm something of a symmetrical lance myself. Yeah, hopefully that was on the list, because that's overpowering for a legendary item. That is absurd. Dun, 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 dun. What's the Flawless's legendary? Isn't it getting... It's getting an update in Dead Cells Alpha. It's gonna have something about if you kill an enemy, you get your Flawless back. 9 says, I see Tesla Coil becoming the best in the game in the next update, with it getting 2 charges. In the upcoming Dead Cells update, I can see Tesla Coil being a top tier pick if you can get it on your color, because the legend, well, it's gonna be legendary, because the legendary effect of being able to summon 2 means that you don't have to care about the cooldown as much. As long as it has separate cooldowns for the charges, like you use one and then 5 seconds later you use another, and then you're down to a 5-second cooldown on the first charge, then you can just pop them way more frequently. And it's actually quite nice. Flawless is actually pretty good. You guys hear the sirens outside? Honk! I don't know what's happening. My house is not on fire. I know that much at the very least. I live in a very, like, exciting neighborhood, I guess. Def Vivo. Thank you very much for the resub. I'm gonna choke myself on coffee. Thank you very much. Welcome. 2 extra jumps in midair reveals invisible enemies. Damage from projectiles reduced. No need right now. Let's keep the stats, I guess. Just trying to keep the speed up a little bit, try to get the combo going. I know we are not using the panchucks right now, but there's no reason to with the flawless here. The panchucks are gonna be really nice for bosses, I think. But the flawless, like, it is getting the job done. Because it does have more raw damage than the panchucks. Even though the panchuck damage, I think the general consensus is that it lies and it's better than it says on the weapon. I would Cobbett give some ran out, says Disp. Well, someone's missing out then. That was a very lucky timing on that grenade. The protection wore out just at the end there. And that was a super easy floor, my lord. Oh yeah, use your channel points, nerd, says Mud. Forgot that was even a thing you could do. Well, I didn't see any floor runes. I may have missed it. We're gonna do a quick check here though, just to make sure that that we haven't missed it, because I would hate to lose a scroll. And I want to check out the shop. This is a pretty decent time to maybe replace something. We don't really need the collector syringe. We could probably dump it. But I also really like the sinew slicer, and if we're gonna fight the Watcher, having a ground-based attack system for the tentacles would be really nice. Trap spreads oil, victims burn when they die, more damage against targets covered in burning oil. We've got the flawless. Cluster grenade isn't gonna do too much against them, so you know what? Give me the sinew of the slicer variety. I guess I should have taken the fire grenade too. The fire grenade would have been nice. Just as another fire enabler, but we could also get a cat. We could get a grappling hook, which seems unnecessary. You know what? Let's not spend any more money. I think we're okay for the time being. Please make the jump. Boom, 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 boom. Is that it? No. I worry about the next time that one of the challenge runes is gonna spawn on a wall and I'm just not gonna see it. My challenge rune, no! Alright, let's get out of here. This is a good floor though. We picked up a lot for very little. Ooh, a face flask. You wanna go Vengeance? Vengeance combo pans? It is so good though, but you know, we have been running Brutality Vengeance quite a lot recently. Why don't we cool it on that today? And I still like the flawless. Let's go for a... Well, you know, if we have a turret, then support is not that bad. Sure, we could take something that gives us a little bit of healing, but I do like support just on and off color with the turret. And it looks like we're gonna get a late bank on this run as well, which is nice. I'm feeling a little bit, ooh. Why did the game freeze when I got poisoned? I was gonna say, ooh, we got Blasphemous Head, I believe. A game that I haven't played, but I probably should at some point. But I've got a little bit of a backlog on games I should play, considering I did get, you know, the Resident Evil pack. I gotta go through all those. This might be a floor where we want to go back to the combo pans. Just because it's gonna be a little tricky with the wind-up on the flawless against certain enemies here. I'm thinking mostly like the tentacles. Hold on, we gotta get out of here. We gotta keep progressing as fast as possible. All right. Oh my God, more. Lacerating aura. No thank you. That seems unnecessary. Falls on the same vein as the other, some of the other perks where it's like, that's not actually that good. Skills, the powers, whatever they're actually called. All right, good. Blasphemous is good for when you get bored with Dead Cells. It's very much a like traditional Metroidvania, isn't it? That's my understanding. Does sound like it could be fun. Fun. Excuse me. Coming through. Oh, that's why the freaking tentacles can F off, man. And those guys can turn around. That gets me every time. I've been killed by them before when cursed, because I didn't really know how easily they can turn around. Abe's played Hades, right? I have definitely played Hades. It's a fun game. Let me switch it back. Yeah, I very much enjoyed Hades. Yep. You know, technically speaking, playing Blasphemous would be up my alley of trying to play games that have content in Dead Cells that I don't understand. You know what? Extra scrolls. Critical hit if the enemy is facing you panchakus. I did forget about the crit condition. Oh, stupid. On the panchucks. It's not a very easy to land crit condition, and it is kind of against what I was talking about earlier with positional requirements on the crit conditions. Okay, so disengagement almost certainly saved my life there. I didn't expect the box elite. But we're alive, still. I don't really want to spend another heal right now, though. Just don't get hit by any more freaking traps, my God. The traps just do so much damage, man. Damage man, doing all the damage he can. Try not to jump in any spike traps. Just take a little hot shot there at the end. Hey, thank you very much, Lemon. For the resub, Kaka. I hate that game. Blasphemous or Hades? Why do you hate Hades? It's a fun game. I've enjoyed the heck out of it back when I was playing it. Oh, Dead Cells. Have you heard of it? I hope you're enjoying it. Thank you. I needed the money. Oh, let's go. No poison. Donk, donk. You know, the pans might be a little hard with the Watcher boss. Oh, it's gonna be another one of you. Hello, you jumped. Move, 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 move. Dun, 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 dun. That was a little scary. Where are you? there's a mushroom man up there that's stopping me from killing this boy. All right, hold on. I like that in the presence of the elite, the entire screen is just red. I flawless the conjunctivius with the katana tech. I spammed phasers as lemon. Cheater. Hey. Just gonna sit here for a second. There we go. You gave me a blowgun. Oh, there you are. Whoa. Well, that's incredibly scary. No curse chest, which is good. We have a lot to pick up still on the floor. I haven't seen the mimic, so hopefully there is not a mimic. Ooh, I do like a firebrand though, but we do have ways of creating fire. What we need is more ways of creating oil. Okay, just don't jump on the spikes this time. The hell's this? Oh, it's the Dead Cells door. Look at that. Secret zone discovered. I haven't seen, is this the Dead Cells door? I haven't seen this in a long time. Do I get a heal? Something's changed. Guy in armor been dead for a while. Medusa's head. You should get a heal when you rest. It only makes sense. I do find it very funny that these enemies are incredibly weak. Incredibly weak basic mobs. Really what that should do is reset all the enemies on the entire floor. Just to screw with the player. Oh, I have to sneeze so bad. God damn. Apologies. If you're on the alpha, there's some new lore in the Stilt Village. I'm gonna wait to jump into the alpha until it's finished. I think. Seems like it's undergoing a lot of changes, which sounds about right from what I remember reading about the update. That they want to take their time with it and iterate. All right, there's a bleed trap. Could be better than the cluster, actually, but it's gonna be really hard to have the bleed trap actually hit anything. But it's gonna be hard for the cluster to hit anything, on the boss fight, that is. Man, I just sound so stuffed up today. I apologize. Ugh. Yeah, no mimic from what I could see. My voice is getting shot too. So I don't think we're gonna be buying anything here. Not worth it to upgrade by like 1 level. There's a scroll I missed though. I don't know how I missed this one. Let's see. How do we get over there. Guess I just missed it while I was fighting all the enemies. Yeah, the cursed biome sounds interesting. I wonder if it's completely optional or how it's going to be handled as far as like difficulty. Is it just the fact that you get cursed enemies, or can other enemies be stronger and you get more cursed chests, or what? But again, that's kind of why I like the idea of waiting until it's actually going to be released so I can jump in and experience it in its completed form. Okay, we don't need Firebrand. A better bow. Oh, it's significantly better. So let's buy that. Solid upgrade. Boom, boom, bum, 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 boom. Cursed sword? No, we're not taking a cursed sword. Alucard's sword actually could be kind of interesting here because it will teleport you into the boss. You know, the Panchucks also do more damage against poisoned targets. The Sinew Slicer does create a toxic cloud, so we might be able to stack up the bonus there. Not reliably, because it does have a cooldown, but maybe we can find some other way of applying poison. This might be one of those situations where you might want to grab a cloud. One of those clouds that produces poison. Nice jump. We'll just grab the gems and leave, because we have picked up everything, I think. Didn't get the door, but that's okay. Oh man, I am just so stuffed today. I'm so stuffed. Whoa. Shots leave a trail of flames. Well, we don't need that with the Panchucks. It creates its own fire. What I need is something that spreads oil, so I'm gonna re-roll the bow again. There you go, that works. Crit damage up, but at least it spreads oil. Six cursed enemies, more cursed chests, better loot, says Connie. That seems like a good enough, I'm Superman, a good enough set of changes, I think. And if it's optional, then it would be nice to, you know, just not have to go there if you don't want. There we go. That took a while, but we got it. There's a moment in the Panchuck animation, I think, where you get a stagger. I got hit! I did not get hit on the screen! God damn it, Dead Cells, what is going on with you today? I hate that so much. It never feels good when that happens either, because you're like, well, I didn't think I got hit there. I pressed the dodge button and then the freaking game just froze up. Also, I thought they had fixed that bug. Apparently not. All right, well, that's okay, I guess. Hey, Pixely, welcome. How's it going today? Well, we're not getting a legendary on that floor. What bug? I think it's got something to do with the outfit. No, on the last floor, I got poisoned and it still gave me a little bit of a hiccup, so I don't know what's going on with it. Yeah, and the pan chuck damage there was not that good. But again, that boss doesn't have a face, so that might be some of it. We're gonna go to a bank. We could go for a wish. What would we want to pick up? I guess a better weapon than the pans. Level 7 pans. They're not gonna be 10 out of 10 forever. Pixely, thank you very much for the resub, by the way. Ka-ka. That's freaking do it. It's a good enough point in the run, I think. After the first boss, we're gonna get some high level equipment. Let's see what we get. Should be like level 10 or 11 gear from the shops, and maybe even +2 if it's a mimic. I might just go for something I've gotten before though. Like I might try to go for a gun, which is brutality, so it might show up in the shop. Stilt Bank best banks is lemon. I mean, it's not a bad time to get it, actually. If you're gonna get a bank, you want to get it after the first boss. Whether it's here, the caverns, or the castle. It's very rare to get it in the castle, though. I don't know, like, if there's a condition that makes it spawn or something, but it doesn't show up all the time. There's a tentacle. Okay, a little risky. I didn't really feel very good about that, but yeah, the damage from the pan just isn't, it's not doing it for me right now. The damage from the bow, I mean, it is just literally better. 10,000 damage on the crits, yeah. Hate to say it, but we are definitely gonna be looking for an upgrade here. Jesus. Now, when they're facing me and I've got the poison and I've got the fire going in there, yeah, okay, it's pretty good. Don't pick anything up. Go ahead, try to hit me. Come on, stop trying to hit me and hit me. Gotcha. Hello. Honestly, I think I should just be using the bow in that case. Just keep hitting them. Keep hitting them with those Y. Why, Miss American Pie? Ooh, dude, a legendary Hokuto bow at this point is not that bad. Okay, it's a level 7, which actually makes it pretty bad. Really, level 7? That seems like it's a very low level for this location, but maybe I'm overestimating the biome level. We'll go for... just go for the cheese, I guess. Hey! For once, the Mimic is not in the food shop. Let's go. Lemon says, watch him forget Wish again. You know, I've been pretty good about not forgetting about Wish in the bank, but that's because whenever I'm in the bank, I usually, or I remember it. If I was in a different biome, I would definitely forget, but because I'm here in the bank, it's like, I only take Wish in the bank. And by doing that, maybe it makes it a lot easier. What the heck was that camera? Makes it a little bit easier for me to remember, you know? It's not bad. Boom, 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 boom. I feel like I also need to try out Forgotten or Corrupted Power a little bit more, but it doesn't feel as good as the Vengeance play with the Face Flask, but it has a similar purpose, which is just doing more damage. Okay, so here's my thoughts. Okay, very scary, but we hit 60. Something spawned. I don't know what. I didn't see you at all, so, you know, you can just F right off, my dude. I imagine he's probably up here. Nope. Never forget getting over his streams. That was a fun game. Kind of. Hey, you're dead. I would hate to die on the last enemy, you know? Oh my god. I accept getting hit on that one, but I still hate the time slowdown. I don't know what causes that either. Game, please. I got a 4080 Ti in this thing. Stop freezing. Sadist Stiletto. Firebrand. Balanced Blade. We'll check out the shop later. I guess maybe we could do a reroll. I don't want those weapons. I don't want these weapons either. Don't really want the torch either. Dude, Blood Sword is actually very good. Would I take a Blood Sword Legendary? Man, the damage is way better than the Pans. It's better than the Pans because of the bleeding stacks that would then be doubled. And then if we take open wounds, then we would get the crits. Sorry, not the crits. We would get the blood explosion after 2 hits. So 2 hits would kill any enemy. It's a solid take. Get out of here, everybody. And I wouldn't have to deal with, like, animations, locks and staggers anymore. So that's probably what I'm gonna go for. It's been a while since I've had a Blood Sword. And you know what? We've got blood traps, too. So we would be very deep in the blood. Blood for the blood god. Also beware the blood. Etc., etc. Elden Ring tactics. Blood? I feel like blood's an everything tactic. Blood. Blood everywhere. He's coming. Really thought he would actually get even larger. Get out of here. Get out of here. There's supposed to be an exit on the second floor. Oh, this is the first floor, right? Okay. The second floor was, or the first floor I did was the bottom floor. Need the kunai? I mean, we don't need any more sources of blood. And actually, it would be nice to have some weapons that don't actually apply blood. That way they can benefit doing more damage on bleeding targets, because it's not like the blood sword is ever going to have more damage on a bleeding target. I am very surprised that that guy did not get me. Even when it's a little amount of damage, you still get the hiccup. It's so strange. I got no idea what causes it. It's just weird. Hey, another weapon shop. This is actually pretty damn good, because we get our choice. Okay, I mean, the flint is where you go if you want an easy run. It's not about being effective, it's about sending a message. Drenched in the blood of your enemies. Well, actually, that's more like a Bloodborne thing. There's a mimic somewhere. Poison has no effect on you. You coming? He should be coming now. Thank you. Now we got some problems. No? There we go. I was gonna say, like, surely one of them up there should have exploded into a larger form. There we go. Seaga's welcome, how you doing? Here says, Lemon, we need to talk about your Dead Cells stream addictions. I do see him in any Dead Cells chat. He's there. Abe went from Gungeon to Dead Cells, still hasn't recovered. I'm gonna go back to Gungeon at some point. Don't you worry about that. You know, absence makes the heart grow stronger. Or so I hear. Me, I'm not fond of anything. Which is why it might be a while. That's just a dead end. Just a straight up dead end. Lee says we keep talking about Revita, but he doesn't listen. No, Bard keeps talking about Revita, and I don't listen. All right, well, we found everything, man. Still haven't picked up any items, so we still have access to our wish. Still eyeballing that blood sword, especially if it becomes a legendary blood sword. Not a legendary, upgraded blood sword because of a mimic. That would be the best. Definitely the best outcome. Ooh. Take open wounds. This is gonna be awkward. Get super high damage done, it would be nice. Yeah, we'll check it to see if it's gonna be a mimic, but I'll probably still take it. Even a level 9 is good enough. Like, our pans are level 7, but the pan damage I feel like hasn't been amazing. This is blood sword. We want to go up to this one. Straight up feel like it would just be better with the blood sword, and of course the flint would be the best, but I'm not gonna take a flint. Infantry bow. What is the infantry bow crit? Infantry bow. It is, or not crit, but legendary. Makes the victim bleed. Okay. You know what? That's thematically appropriate, but I have to imagine that the bleed damage might not be that high. Morningstar. Oops, rerolled it. Quad damage flawless. Dude. That is interesting. We could just take it. Why, like, man, that's, I mean, it's 73,000 DPS. Tentacle flawless. That is true. It does reroll when it becomes legendary, not when a mimic upgrades it though. So if we pick this up first, it won't have quad damage on it. Dadvidian has my thinking as well. We could also put it in the backpack like the current flawless, and then it would just be the roll perk. We could take that one and then have it do 30,000 DPS just kind of randomly. So I still think I want the blood sword. What we'll do is we'll check to see if the blood sword is the mimic. It's not. So this would become a legendary level 9 double bleed blood sword. It'd be a little hard to reroll everything to get bleed synergies, but it's still very good. Also, it upped the damage. It was like 5,000, now it's 7,000. I don't know why the damage went higher when I upgraded it, but I guess legendary weapons just have a higher base damage, don't they? So that explains it. So yeah, I think we'll get rid of the pans. We'll see what else is available. Oiled sword. I have to acknowledge that is very good damage, especially with built-in double damage on burning oil. But this is very good. 33% bonus for legendary. It doesn't have to do with the blood burst. I think, yeah, legendary weapons just have more root damage bonuses. So that explains that. It became legendary because I had the Wish mutation, which meant that the next item I picked up became legendary. So we've chosen the Blood Sword, and this Flawless is gonna be mimicked and be a level 11 and have like 80,000 DPS on crits, which is kind of a lot. So why don't we grab it? Ah, you hit me once. So yeah, 80,000 DPS. We might not use this, but like against bosses, if we're trying to go for flawlesses, wouldn't we unironically want to use the quad damage flawless? It would kind of suck a little bit to not have the bleed synergies. But we have the bleed traps, which are themselves applying the bleed synergies. So yeah, Panchaku 10,000, flawless 80,000. This is Abe's wish biome. I mean, again, if I always take wish when I come here, then I'll never forget. Hashtag never forget. You know, I will remember that I have wish if it's a constant thought in the back of my head. Don't forget about your wish now. Don't forget about the wish. Don't forget. Don't forget, you're wished forever. Pretty sure it was 7K before. I think it was 5.8K, I think. Okay. So, we don't need to re-roll anything right now. We'll re-roll weapon affixes after this floor. But, yeah, that flawless, you know, it's got good optics for being a very good weapon to use against bosses, for sure. All right, let's go to the next biome. Where are we going? You know, I feel like we haven't been to the Sepulchre recently. Let's go there. We haven't done Giant recently. Maybe we'll go there too. Wish I'd thought of it, haha. No, he used Wish. Gotta use it at some point if you take it. Well, I don't, but I did. Okay. Well, everything died, even though it did take a little while. The thing about this, you know, it's not the best damage until you actually get the bleed explosion. Once you get that bleed explosion, it's such a substantial amount of damage. Iron Staff also does 40,000, which is very good considering that our quad damage is 70. An Iron Staff. It's been a while since I've done an Iron Staff run. Maybe I should do that one of these days. Oh god, it's a freaking elite. Oh crap. Here they go. It's just doubled elites, which is not that bad. Academy Kill, thank you for the resub. Bananas are berries. All I know is that they always turn brown whenever I buy them, before I can eat them. Okay. Elites are always annoying whenever you are cursed, but there we go. one more. Very good. Little wonky, but I wanted to be very careful. By the yellow ones. Dragonblade, welcome! Just returned from 4 months in South America. Oh, I hope whatever you did down there, you enjoyed it. Vacation or visit or whatever. The elites just forget about you. Yeah, that was a little weird. Dude, even Snake Fang's damage is pretty good. And that's another good weapon to get legendary because it does inflict double stacks. In fact, that might have been better than the Blood Sword. But we've made our choice, now we gotta live with it. I like the YOLO on that little step. What are you doing? He went over there to the turret. He's like, I'll get him. I'll get this turret, everybody. Don't worry about me. I'll get it. All right, let's continue on. Hopefully there's, no, I was gonna say hopefully there's no more cursed chests, but I guess I would prefer there to be cursed chests. When I got time to get some smacks in, that bleed is a very prominent amount of damage. And getting a few extra levels has really bumped up that damage. It was at 220, now it's at 380 DPS. Hello. Whoop, 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 whoop. Come here. Blaze cleared. Boy's axe for rooting, oil grenade for a little bit of oil. Don't need either one of them. Trying to get through this without taking too much damage, because I do like being at 100% health. And it's another oiled sword, too. Oiled sword, blood sword, snake fangs, they're all really good. I don't know which I prefer. I guess I prefer them all. I'll take any of them. They're solid weapons. And therein kind of lies, I guess, the problem of making legendaries, is that you never know what you're gonna get. You never know what you're gonna make. This Flawless already does 40,000 without the quad damage. Do we want a Serenade? I'm gonna say no. Dragonblade says, not often I see anyone play 5 BC without a shield. I rarely take shields anymore. I know they're very good for stopping you from getting comboed to death, but I usually just take disengagement for that purpose. And usually I need it. Also, we've not seen a Mimic yet, so it's possible that we're gonna see one at some point here. I kind of have my weapons sorted though. So that was 30,000 damage on the bleed explosion, I think. Oh, that was pretty good. Applause from the mimic. Now that the mimic in the bank is separate from the mimic that you fight randomly in the game. As long as you have unlocked the roaming mimic, you'll find a mimic on one of your biomes. It's not gonna be the bank though. So we're looking. Hey, Stormworm! Stormworm! Thank you for the resub again. Kaka. Lots of subs, thank you all very much for your renewals. Thank you. Kaka. But yeah, I don't see the mimic tell, the lore room indicating that there's gonna be a mimic because it's the imp. So maybe it'll, maybe we're still gonna find it, or maybe it's not here. I don't know. Like, is this it on the left? Doesn't look like it, so I imagine we're gonna find a mimic on maybe the next floor, if it can even spawn there. I don't know. Just keep on keeping on. You know what I like? I like the idea of maybe fighting the clock boss because I feel like quick melee weapons are actually pretty good against the clock boss. I'm just bad at the clock boss. This could be a good opportunity to practice. Wouldn't be a bad idea maybe to upgrade our traps if we're gonna be using these. Not you. Level 10 versus level 7, 6 grand. Covers the ground with oil that burns, take lower damage, shoots arrows, drops a grenade, victims burn. Yeah. So we know this is not gonna be a mimic. I don't think we need the fire grenade. Just keep stacking, you know, burn synergies. You know, there is a reason to have a thrown dagger, by the way, because one thrown dagger plus 2 hits from a legendary bloodsword is 5 stacks. That's enough to make the damage activate, and you don't need to take open wounds to make that happen. Dragonblade says, Abe, how do you feel about Lies of P? I played the demo. It's up on YouTube in a Let's Look At playlist. 3 videos, 3 hours. I played the first 3 bosses in the Lies of P demo because that's all there was. It is very much an imitation Bloodborne game. You can see the inspiration on its sleeves. I think that it doesn't play as well as other Souls games. I feel like I'm a little bit soulsed out, you know, after playing through Elden Ring, which was just such a long game. But also, I don't see why it's a Pinocchio game. It doesn't seem like thematically that matters at all to the experience. Yes, everything's a puppet, but they could have made their own IP, changed the characters, made unique characters in the universe. Everything seems kind of just like shoved in there. Oh, it's Pinocchio. Oh, of course you've got to have a Crooked. Oh, of course you got to have Geppetto. But the characters don't like in a Pinocchio story. What should you expect? Self-reflection, actions and consequences as being like a lesson learned for the characters, learning what it means to be human. What do we have in Lies of P? You just run around and you smack things with a sword. It's like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, you're a Souls game. Some of the mechanics I don't even understand. Like, health recovery and the parry system is fine because that's basically what you had in Bloodborne. You had a parry system in the form of the gun. You didn't have a shield and you needed some way of recovering your health. But the weapon repair also has no point. I cannot. No one's told me why that matters in the game. Because your weapons have infinite durability, but you can repair them. Okay, so what's the point? You're just supposed to do some busy work at some point during your run. Okay. I was really disappointed in like the narrative experience. I was hoping that maybe there was going to be, again, because it's Pinocchio, it's an established character. Surely they're going to be doing something interesting with it. Like, he's a puppet, the player is, you know, puppeteering the character of Pinocchio. Maybe there's going to be some narrative with that, like breaking the fourth wall. I'm not expecting an Undertale level of, you know, narrative subversion, but it just seemed like there wasn't anything interesting going on with the characters. And if you're gonna take an established IP like that, you really got to do something with it. I think. But maybe it's also just me. I actually had this conversation earlier with my friend. I was asking him because he does a lot of writing, and I said, "How do you feel about video games or movies taking like old storybook characters and reimagining them?" And he had no immediate problems with that. He's like, "Yeah, you know, as long as it's good, I like it." But in my head, I can't get over the fact that it's effing Pinocchio. You're thinking Pinocchio from Disney. We are thinking Pinocchio from God of War. No, I'm thinking The Adventures of Pinocchio, the old story. I've never actually seen Disney's Pinocchio. Yeah, let's fight the clock boss. Let's do it. If I get hit, I get hit. Well, collector syringe. If we wanted an easy fight, there you go. Well, I don't know. It might be a little bit hard to dodge clock boss if you're riding that syringe. All right, we do need to take this opportunity and figure out what we're doing. Are we gonna roll Blood Sword or Flawless? You know, I'm gonna roll Blood Sword. That combo. I think I'm gonna reset the mutations though. I wanna take support for the raw 40% damage bonus. Because we're gonna have the traps out all the time. If the 3x damage is in the backpack, do you still get the debuff? No, you do not take triple damage if the weapon's in your backpack. If you have a cursed sword in the backpack, it will still kill you. But Porcupine will not kill you with quad damage in your backpack. So we could take Porcupine. It is a lot of damage being done if we roll through the enemy. Or we could take support for just more consistent damage throughout the fight. Or we could just roll the Flawless. You know, give me support. Let's freaking do it. Why not? We could try. I can't reroll the weapon though, so it is just 212,000 DPS, which is really good. You know what? Maybe we should reroll the Blood Sword and look for something a little bit more interesting, because it doesn't have any actively useful bonuses right now. So burning and poison. We can do burning and we can do poison. So that would buff the damage of the Blood Sword, and it still shoots arrows. I kind of want to still use the blood sword though, because I want to practice with that weapon. Even though this has the damage, I kind of want to practice with. Oh, it's got a 4-hit combo on it too. I kind of want to practice with that blood sword because it's fast and I can get behind her and hit her pretty easily. Let's get in there and try. I have to also acknowledge, or not acknowledge, but I have to remember that if I swap weapons, my traps will be destroyed immediately. So we should be a little bit careful about that. Okay, the game lags. Is it crashing? I don't know. My game just crashed, like... Dead Cells. This whole run, every, like, 2 seconds, it just crashes. What the heck, man? I just wanted to look at it really quickly for a second. I'm gonna use the blood sword. Let's get those in there, wait 10 seconds, and then start the process. All right, Timekeeper's gonna do some nonsense. Yeah, it seemed pretty good. Yeah, that's good. You know, I just thought of something, okay? Does support give you double effectiveness on... You know what, we could go and fight Dracula. We haven't done that in a while. Flawless causes lag. It does the same on Android 2, says Hesitant Pixel. Well, yeah, maybe that's what it is, because it happened when I tried to equip it, and when you get hit, that seems to be a lot of lag, so it is probably associated with the weapon. That's a very, very solid point. I thought it was just a little bit random. But we could try Dracula. Phase 2 with the turrets is maybe not going to be the best, but we still have big bleed being done with the blood sword. Or we could do the full route and go fight, you know, these bosses. I mean, we haven't done Dracula lately, but I don't know. I kind of have more fun with the long route. Stormworm says, this game has changed so much since I last played. That's why I like Dead Cells. It's always... like, the meta necessarily isn't changing, but it's always getting new content and new stuff. King Scepter. You're invincible as long as you spin. I'm gonna recycle it, but that's another weapon that I really need to play around with in the future. Because it's, well, it seems like it could be pretty good. Are they still updating the game? There's an alpha update to Dead Cells that's going to add a lot of new content, including a renewed focus on cursed items and cursed enemies. Stormworm says, watching you play Dead Cells wants to make me try it again. I cannot recommend this game enough to anybody. Ooh, double damage infantry bow. Because it's just such a solid game. I love Dead Cells. It's a lot of fun. Every time the game gets an update, I say the same thing. I say the game has never been in a better place than it is now. And that is still true today. The game has never been in a better place. Some of the changes that they make are necessary changes, like when they adjust balancing. You know, when they changed legendaries to no longer scale with 2 stats, like that was something that had to happen. The game was too easy otherwise. Stormworm says, then I get hit on a boss and I realize I'm not Abe. Well, no, you can't compare yourself to me. Two extra jumps. You can't compare yourself to the guy who killed Brooding Moloch on the 2nd try before he killed any other boss. See ya. You really do need, by the way, open wounds if you're going to be using the blood sword to kill basic enemies, because you need the weapon to kill in 2 hits. It inflicting 4 stacks of bleed is not going to kill anything. But as soon as you get that 5th stack, that's a lot of damage. I got hit. Were you the, like, elite? You're still firing bombs up there? Thank you. Where did he come from? Where did he go? Oh! What a jerk that guy is, too. By the way, the reason why I'm not taking open wounds is because I want to have the support, which I actually think is pretty good. And occasionally things like bleed behave very strangely when you get damage bonuses. I think I've learned, I haven't done like a full test, but I think I know that Vengeance, for some reason, is doubly applied to bleed damage, and maybe other DOTs as well. So you get way more effectiveness than you think you should. That's good food. Stop. Like, actually, against these enemies, it's actually taking a little while to kill things. Again, because we're not stacking up the 5 stacks of bleed that we actually need to get them killed in 1 hit, or 2 hits. See ya. Good stuff. Way too many turret enemies down there, or mortars. Way too many. Very surprised at how few floor runes and cursed chests and, you know, even just these that I've found on this run, but you're not gonna find an infinite amount on every run, unfortunately. Maybe with the next update. Skills. I will spend money upgrading. I think that's always a good thing to do. Mostly always a good thing to do. Sinew Slicer, another toxic cloud trap, but it also spreads oil and has double damage on burning oil, which we can enable with the cleaver. And with the downwards attack, so... Well, I mean, it is just a higher quality one. You gonna be a mimic? Nope. I'll upgrade. I had to think about it for a second, but I'll upgrade. Double damage on the Serenade. I got hit. It's also weird just how much that's been happening. Like every encounter. My God. It's almost like this game is bugged or something. Legendary Tentacle poisons the enemy. Well, I mean, if we really wanted to get the a flawless a flawless tentacle run, this is how you do it, right? Man, that's actually like absurdly good damage. Is it? $80 and then 100,000 damage? I mean, that's pretty good. Is it more damage than the blood sword, you think? Oh, you know what? The tentacle can apply poison for the blood sword. And if I drop the flawless, maybe I'll stop getting the freaking weird lag happening. So that did like 20,000 damage, then another 20,000 damage. I guess I can still do it, right? Nothing says I can't still roll Tentacle Blood Sword. I like the idea of this because it'll still give me iframes and it enables the poison synergy on the Blood Sword to maybe do more damage. Very interesting. Oh, hello, thank you. Gotta be a little careful with the tentacle aim, though. Are we done? Not even close. Well, let's open these doors first. Grab a scroll for free. $31. Not the most we've ever had, but good enough. Good enough. Blade says, I don't know if you've watched this yet, but the live action One Piece show is pretty good. I've never even seen One Piece. He jumped out of my tentacle, which screwed me up. I'm a noob. Luckily, that is not a cursed chest. I really didn't want to have to make that decision. Vampirism. Vampirism would be pretty good. And we've got one more hallway to explore, then we're out of here. Man, even the tentacle on its own is just killing things. Why is the tentacle damage so good on its own? Well, let's get out of here. That's all we needed. I don't even think I want to go to the shop and look at anything. I don't want to see a weapon and be tempted at this point. All right, so we're gonna primarily use the blood sword. Tentacle's gonna enable poison damage along with the sinew slicer. Cleaver trap, we can get a little bit of burn happening at some point. Let's go for it. And if I want it, I still have the pocket flawless. It's so laggy. All right, let's give it a go. We don't need anything else. We don't need any re-rolling. If the fight against the Timekeeper was any indication, this should be a quick fight. I mean, that's really nice damage. It confuses me a little bit with the XY and the XY, since I've just been using this for like a quarter of one floor, but yeah, dude, the bloodsword damage is really nice. Something about DOT lately I've been very, very much enjoying. Ooh, ice armor. We don't need it, but good to see it, I suppose. You know, if this was a boss rush run, that'd be a solid pick. All right, let's go and try to finish this run. Dragon Blade says One Piece show shows the entire first like 60 episodes in 8 episodes, and it's actually pretty good. Well, I have absolutely no money in that horse race there. Since I have not seen anything. That hurt. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I should just be using the tentacle approach a little bit more instead of just relying on the blood sword. That's what the tentacle is good for. Closing the distance, closing the gap. Hold on. Come here. The iframes are so good. They're so generous and handsome and good looking. And smart. You're bleeding. I know you're gonna die. The question is, how long would it take? All right, buy the baguette. Where are we going? Down. Can't believe I haven't found another teleporter. would doubt the series going past a certain point. Live action Chopper will be difficult to pull off, says Bard. I have no idea what that means. I'm glad people are enjoying it. When you, whenever you have like a live action, let's go, live action remake of anything that was animated or even a video game or something, historically, it hasn't been pulled off very well. So hopefully people enjoy it and they continue to enjoy it. Get out of here! Stop hurting me! Stop poking me! Stop causing my game to lag. Oh no, they're attacking the frame rate! Also, I've not gotten a single key yet. These dang keys. Oh, that is not the way to go. I don't know how you died, but I'll take it. I just like the fact that the tentacle seems to do good damage on its own with the first hit, you know? Pretty solid. Ah, there it is, on the left. There we go. Well, good opportunity also to maybe get upgraded traps. I don't know where the Mimic was on this run. It's not here, so must have forgotten it somewhere. I'm sure there's a few different shops that I never interacted with. It could have been maybe in the prison, not the prisoner's quarters. I get that one wrong all the time, but the prison. Because I feel like that can be a mimic, but there's going to be no lore room if it is there. Wow, okay. You hit me. The laser beam did no damage, but you hit me, huh? Okay. Freaking rude dude. Now I'm gonna have to buy some more HP. Let's see, anything around here? Answer seems to be no. Trying to be on the lookout for foodstuffs. There we go. Assault shield level 12. Whew. I mean, I just wanted to see how long the iframes would last. Not that long is the answer. It's okay. We can go grab some HP when we're done. We're almost done. Yonk. Just wait. Just wait for them to die due to the trap. Don't even worry about it. let's make sure that we deal with the birds first. First birds. There you go. As long as you get that tentacle shot, there's nothing to worry about. Wait a minute, hold on, I want to try this. Nice! There you go, there's your pro tip if you're looking to crush enemies with an elevator. Yeah, Dragon Blade, I saw that the other day. I haven't watched it or anything, but I heard that someone won Hades on the max heat and they were using, what was it? They were using the shield, right? Which is weird to me because I never thought the shield was actually, you know, that good of a weapon. Apparently it is, in some people's eyes. Let's get out of here. Let's finish this run so I can use the restroom. One fight left. Don't use a flawless because I don't want to, you know, have the game crash on me. Only 3 scroll fragments. It's a very big disappointment there. I was kind of hoping that we could pick up one more. 33 brutality. I still like the idea of support. The cooldown on these turrets is not that bad. It was the shield, yeah. Yeah, I don't like the shield in Hades. I want to see how much damage the flawless does, but I'm probably going to swap to the blood sword. I just want to see. Shield and Zeus. Yeah. I mean, Zeus is really good at crowd control, which I think you definitely would want on a high heat run. Anytime we talk about Hades high heat, I also think about Scourgebringer, which I really like that game. It's just real freaking hard. Not good enough. Dude, the damage is real good. Yeah, that's solid damage. The weapons follow you? I did not know that. That's very funny to me. The fact that the weapons follow you between the zones. Alright, well, he's gonna freaking get toasted. Ow! Ah, whatever. I got hit at the end there. I gotta stop drinking the flask immediately because it makes it real hard to stay safe when you drink that flask. Ah, good stuff. That was a fun run. And the flawless actually didn't seem that good when I used it for that split second in this fight. It actually felt like the blood sword was dealing more damage. That bleed damage combined with the support bonus, it kind of crushes it. Fun run. Blood sword, oiled sword, and snake fangs all seem very good in high-level brutality runs. Something about the DOT and like scaling factors make it surprisingly good. Like maybe the support bonus, maybe some of the other damage bonuses you get make the bleed increase its damage multiple times or something like that. I don't know. It would require some sort of testing. But for now, For those of you on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. Like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe for more. Check me out on Twitch for when I go live. Support the channel at any of the links below in the video description, and I hope to see you here again for the next run of Dead Cells.